is. Remain seated and inside the tram at all times while on the tour. We appreciate your cooperation. Thanks so much and enjoy your visit to the world-famous Universal Studios tour.
We'll see you on the back lot.
Happy 60th anniversary of Universal Studios Hollywood.
The Universal Studio Tour is still the hottest ticket in town. According to veteran tour guide Rick Fitzgerald, the chance to get a close-up look at Hollywood brings people back time and time again.
Because of its history, because of what it offers, guests have a chance to go right onto our back lot and see filming going on.
We've turned our tram into a movie theater on wheels. Each tram is outfitted with state-of-the-art flat-screen LCD monitors.
I'd like to have you direct your attention to the monitors at this time as we tell you a little bit about Universal Studios history.
We've always kind of showed our guests the place where movies were made, but now we wanted to show them examples of some of the over 8,000 movies that the studio has made on this property down through the years.
Universal's massive backlot features over 500 sets and facades, with such diverse locations as the Old West in 6 Points, Texas, New York Street, and Little Europe. On the studio tour, guests see them all up close and personal.
Our 60th anniversary tour. Glad to have you visit us here today. Here's some music that's going to be stuck in your head all day long. It's a catchy little tune. We play it over and over. Hi, Mark. We're going to hang out here for about 8 minutes. We're going to be leaving at 9:10. We're probably going to fill up the tram pretty much before we go. If you're sitting in a row and there's an empty seat or two left in the row, fill in the seats to the right. Leave the empty seats on the left side. That way, people that are boarding after you, they don't step on you. They're not going to climb on you to get to an empty seat. That would help us out. If you're riding with very small children whose legs are hanging off the seats, their feet don't quite touch the floor of the tram, we do ask that those smaller children are a little closer to the middle of the tram, not sitting right next to them on the gate. Smaller children towards the middle. We've got a few special effects on the tour that are presented in 3D, and that's why we're handing out 3D glasses before you stepped on board. If you don't have 3D glasses, please raise your hand, and we will bring you some before we leave. Who needs 3D glasses? Everybody has them, okay. We're only going to do 2 special effects in 3D, so if you have your glasses on now, go ahead and take them off. You're going to want them for King Kong 360 3D and Fast and Furious Supercharged. I'll let you know when it's time to put the glasses on for those effects. Today we're going to be riding around on the newest version of our tram vehicles, our studio vehicles, the electric tram, as part of our company's commitment to creating a zero emissions tour fleet. The electric tram gets its power from wireless inductive charges, kind of like charge pads for a phone, only much larger. And like an electric car, we have regenerative braking, so every time we go downhill during the tour, we're going to be building up a charge. And we're no strangers to innovations when it comes to our tour vehicles. We started in 1964 with Glamor trams. And then in 1983, we upgraded the super trams, which enabled us to carry more guests and experience more thrills. And then in 2000, we added the onboard monitors, turning our tram into a movie theater on wheels. This tram is going to be taking us all around our movie studio today. In a moment, we're going to be bringing the gates down on the left. So if you are sitting on the far left side, just keep those gates clear as we bring them down and lock them. Once all the gates are down and locked, they'll give us our clearance. We'll be underway in about 5 or 6 minutes. While we hang out here just for a moment, my buddy Marcellus, walking up and down the tram on the left side. He's going from car to car. He's making sure the speakers are working in all the cars. He's checking monitors to make sure at least 2 out of 3 monitors are working in each car. Sometimes we have some monitors that flicker a little bit, but as long as 2 of the 3 monitors are working in each car. In the front car, we only have 2 monitors. They'll send us if the monitors are working. So he's checking sound, so I want to make sure I talk as he passes by each car. What say you, Marcellus? Thank you, sir. Typically, the backlot sets that we're going to be driving past today are undecorated blank canvases until productions choose how they should look for a specific show. But in celebration of our 60th anniversary, much of the studio lot is camera ready and filled with surprise camera opportunities. So make sure as we're riding around the lot today, you have your phones ready, you have your cameras ready, take some pictures. It is our 60th anniversary of the studio tour. Let me introduce myself. I am Paul. I'm going to be your guide around our studio this morning. So hello, everybody. Hello. Eric is next to me at the front of the tram, and he's very important to the tour. But are you gonna stick your face in here? Stick your face. You've got time. You've got the brake on, right? Eric is our driver. Say hi to Eric. He waves at you. And for the next hour or so, we're going to be taking you around behind the scenes of one of the biggest and busiest production studios. So we should be underway in just a moment. We got a few more people come down to join us. I'm going to play a video while we wait. We may not make it through this whole video. I'm going to show you famous actors and actresses in Universal movies and television shows before they became famous. So some of them are kind of young. Some of them went on to win Academy Awards for Best Actor or Best Actress. It's before they were stars.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? Real smooth. Hey, you go with me over here. What's the good news, money?
Gates are coming down. Watch your sides. Watch your hands. Watch your feet.
They say the same thing. how she's narrow.
Why didn't you say something before?
At the front of the tram, on the left is Andy, who is our official clearance giver. When he gives us 2 thumbs up, that means it's clear for us to leave the loading area. 1 thumb does not send us. It has to be 2. There's a lot of pressure on Andy. Everyone stare at him. There's 2 thumbs! It is pressure. Are you guys ready? Okay, Eric is cleaning his glasses. Once his glasses are clean and he can see the road in front of us, he says, okay. You guys ready? Let's go see a movie studio. You guys are the first tour of the day. Hey! Now, before we get going too far, we do have some safety rules for the tram ride. If at any time during the tour you need immediate assistance, you have a medical emergency, you accidentally drop something important off the side of the tram, you're experiencing sound issues or video issues, just reach up and pull down on the red emergency cord that runs down the center of the tram ceiling. And when you pull on the cord, as soon as it's safe to do it, we'll stop, I'll come back, I'll see what you need assistance with. Otherwise, throughout the entire tour, please remain seated and keep your arms and legs inside the tram. Since the studio is private property, if you drop a phone off the side, you can't wait to the end of the tour to use the restroom. Just pull that red cord and remain seated. No smoking of any kind on the tram. There will be sudden tram movements, loud noises, fire effects, and water effects. So keep an eye on your items so they don't get wet. And finally, we ask for the safety of people sitting around you, please don't use selfie sticks on the tram. So let's get our 60th anniversary tour on the road. Here to kick it off is our master of ceremonies and host of The Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Fallon. Welcome aboard the world famous studio tour. I know what you're thinking. Why the tux? Well, we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. That's right, 16 years of glitz, glamour, and our own great white shark. As we celebrate our diamond anniversary today, we'll pay tribute to Universal's past and take you behind the scenes to discover why this studio tour is world famous. So whether this is your first visit or your 60th, get ready for fun, excitement, and an experience like no other.
Thanks, Jimmy. On March 15, 1915, our founder, Carl Laemmle, invited the public into the studio to watch silent movies being made, and the guests could walk from set to set and marvel at the new technology involved in filmmaking. But with the invention of sound and the need for quiet on the set, the original walking tour ended. But in the 1960s, under the leadership of Chairman Lou Wasserman and executives Al Dorskin and Jay Stein, the idea of reviving a tour of the studio returned when the Gray Line bus tours originating in Hollywood made a stop in Queens. On July 15, 1964, the first of our red and white Glamor trams took 67 passengers around a 2-hour driving tour around the lot, and the world-famous Universal Studio Tour was born. And since then, the tour expanded with one-of-a-kind Hollywood elements like the Burning House and the Rock Slide, which were in this area back in the 1970s and 1980s. You can see the Burning House and the Rock Slide on the monitors up here. This first stage that we're passing by, the sound stage, all on the left, stage 12, that's both the oldest and largest stage that we have in the studio. It was built in 1928. That's the stage where we filmed scenes for Frankenstein. The inside of the laboratory where Frankenstein created the monster was in stage 12. Dracula's castle was in stage 12. All of these sets on the monitors at one time had been built inside that stage. On the right side of the tram, we're behind Super Nintendo World, which is the home to Mario and Luigi, the stars of our biggest Super Mario Brothers movie. But back in the 1960s and 70s, this was a rest stop on the tour, where people could walk through the dressing room of Lucille Ball or through the office of Academy Award-winning costume designer Edith Head. This was also the home to the Preview Center in the 80s, which had a special effects show hosted by Robert Wagner. These stages that we're passing by now, all this production, this is for Bel Air. And these are 2 of the stars of Bel Air, our next 60th anniversary guests, Jabari Banks and Ollie Charlatan.
We're leaving the
the theme park behind and entering the front locker room. Real Hollywood magic is made. How? Well, inside the sound stages that surrounds us, we can create any kind of environment the script demands.
For the past 60 years, studio tour visitors have driven right by these buildings, and inside these walls, the sets from your favorite TV shows and movies have transported audiences anywhere the imagination can take you. Even to a palatial mansion in Bel Air.
When we film Bel Air, we love coming out of the sound stages and seeing the trams filled with exciting guests as they drive by.
So, keep an eye out.
You never know who.
Or what?
We'll see you on the studio tour.
Bel Air streams on Peacock, which is a streaming service with a lot of Universal television shows and movies. Oppenheimer, Universal movie, just won the Academy Award for Best Picture. That's currently streaming on Peacock. If you're riding with children this morning, it doesn't matter where you're visiting from, all over the world, the children are going to recognize the statues on the left of Bob and Stuart. They're two of our minions, and they're going to be starring in a new movie in July, Despicable Me 4, a film that Universal has produced with another company, Illumination Entertainment. And the head of the company, Chris Meledandri, has some offices over here on the left side of the track. He's going to talk about these bungalows we're about to pass by.
In the early days of the studio, these bungalows were used as dressing rooms to the stars of Hollywood's golden age. Now, they're used as offices where some of Hollywood's top directors, writers, and producers work their magic to get a production ready, including my company, Illumination. At Illumination, we've made some of the most successful animated films in box office history, including Despicable Me, The Lorax, The Secret Life of Pets, Minions, Sing, The Grinch, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. And the team is hard at work again as we launch our next film, Despicable Me 4.
Hello, everybody. There's my boy.
I know you love your dada. Go on, say it.
Yes, of course he loves you. He just doesn't show it on his face or with his body language.
We've had some really good sequences in Despicable Me movies. The heist of the Honey Badger is now officially my favorite. What it comes down to is the emotional through line, and I believe that that's why these movies have stayed in people's hearts.
Along with Chris Meledandri, Martin Platt also has offices on the lot. He's producing the movie Wicked, which is going to be released in theaters in November. We're driving by some stages where we do Lopez versus Lopez. I got a red light. I'll be right back. I got to turn off the sound. Just passed by a stage where they're filming a new show for NBC, a comedy called St. Dennis Medical with David Allen Greer. They're also preparing the sets over on the right side of the tram for the show. This is going to be the exterior of the hospital on the series. This street that we're on right now, this is the street that Marty McFly drove a time machine down at the end of Back to the Future.
Welcome to the Courthouse Square. These sets were used to create Hill Valley in the Back to the Future films.
And they represented multiple time periods, 1985, 1955, and the far, far distant future, 2015. To this day, this is one of the most popular sets on the Universal Studio Tour.
We had a lot of fun making those films here on the lot. I wonder what it'd be like to go back to those days. If only we had a time machine.
Hey, everybody, do you think we can get this tram up to 88 miles per hour? See you in the future.
This is the set of Hill Valley from Back to the Future. Doc Brown's time machine is parked in the middle of the road. Along with Back to the Future, we've been using this area recently for some of the scenes for Quantum Leap, which just wrapped up its second season with Raymond Lee, Caitlin Bassett, Ernie Hudson. We do the comedy series Ted out in this part of our backlot as well. That streams on Peacock. It's with the Talking Bear. On Ted, that City Hall building is the high school where the main characters go. That's John Hancock High School. And we've also been using this part of our backlot for the TV series Bel Air, which also streams on Peacock. When we leave Courthouse Square, the Back to the Future set, we're going to move into an area where we once had a classic attraction on the studio tour. And to tell you about it, this is one of the stars of our 2005 version of King Kong, Jack Black.
And self-action. Did you know the Metro sets were once the home to Hollywood's biggest star? Right here is where the original studio tour King Kong attraction resided from 1986 until 2008. He stood 30 feet tall and weighed in at 13,000 pounds. Over the years, millions of guests got to meet King Kong face to face as he shook the tram. So close you could feel his hot banana breath. Is that it? Can't believe that's my last line, and then Tram moves on to the next thing.
We just keep moving along. The street that we're on right now, this is called New York Street. But New York Street can be dressed up to be different cities, different states, and different time periods. We've also been using this street for the TV show Ted. The series supposedly takes place in Boston in the 1990s, but they've been using these exterior sets. Most of the sets that we're driving past aren't even full buildings, they're just facades. They're just the outer shells where they'll build the fronts and the sides of the sets. They're mostly empty on the inside. They normally shoot the interior scenes inside the sound stages that we just passed by. When we move up the hill to the next section of the backlot, I'm going to bring up an Academy Award-winning director. He's going to tell you about this big building right in front of us. Here's the director of our 2005 version of King Kong, Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I like films that just take you away from your real life. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island, and it's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, just put them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
Okay, everybody, hold on to your belongings, remain seated, and put on those 3D glasses because we're driving right through Skull Island. 3D experiences. It was designed by Peter Jackson and the special effects company Weta Effects. They're a company in New Zealand, and they use some of the most advanced technology in filmmaking to create it for us. And what I'm showing you on the monitors, just a little behind the scenes footage of them creating this attraction for the studio tour.
It's in the middle of the environment. They're looking in all directions. There's creatures coming at them. They're seeing Kong from this side and the T-Rexes from the other side.
Working on a movie, we always know what people are looking. They're looking straight ahead. They're looking at the shot that we're working on.
Here you have to take into account that people are looking in all directions.
Also, one of the things about this ride, unlike the movies that we're used to working on, there's no cuts because it's one giant shot. This tram that's driving it along through Skull Island is where the camera's from. This ring represents where the screen is 10 meters away.
We're really creating about 50 minutes of a feature film. That amount of visual information, that number of pixels, and presenting them to the audience, it's a hell of a ride.
Make sure that you hold on to your 3D glasses. Try not to drop them off the tram. You're going to want them again a little bit later for another one of the special effects, and we'll let you know when it's time to put them on. Coming up here on the right side of the tram, we've got a mural painted by an artist, Tristan Eaton. And this wasn't painted for any particular movie or television show. This is just celebrating over 100 years of classic monster movies that have shot here on the lot. Starting back in 1923 with the original silent version of The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Lon Chaney. A little bit later, probably just a few moments, we're going to be driving through the section of the back lot where they made those movies, The Bride of Frankenstein, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. We're also passing by some stages over here on the left side of the tram. There's 4 stages, 30 through 33. Right under stage 30, there's a very recognizable red V for The Voice. And these are the 4 stages where we're currently working on The Voice. Season 25 is being filmed right now, so that's been working on the lot for quite some time. In between our sound stages and the tram, there's a body of water over here on the left side of the tram. This is called the Hollywood Ocean, and here, in 1973, we added the parting of the Red Sea to the studio tour, inspired by the classic Paramount song, The Ten Commandments. The star of the movie, Charlton Heston, made an appearance to part the water, allowing the tram to drive right through the lake, giving everybody on board a sea level view.
This tram is overloaded. Tell them they can walk on water. It's part of the tour.
That's a scene from a movie called The Nude Bomb with Get Smart, or Don Adams. That's a Get Smart movie. And then over the years, we've added water mines, torpedoes, and miniature submarines as part of the action in the lake. We're not the only ones celebrating an anniversary this year. 2024 marks the 70th anniversary of our 3D classic, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which filmed in the Hollywood Ocean back in 1954. And The Creature from the Black Lagoon is just one of several horror movies and monster movies released through Universal, from Dracula back in 1931 to the upcoming Dark Universe, Universal Epic Universe, which is going to be opening in Orlando next year. And this is where it all began. This part of our backlot, Little Europe, is where a lot of those classic horror movies were filmed. We had also used this area for one of our comedies, The Good Place, with Kristen Bell and Ted Danson. There's a set directly in front of the tram with the chairs and the umbrella in front of it. It's called Yogurt, Yogurt, Yogurt. This is a quick scene from The Good Place that filmed in front of the set.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. I can't risk going to the bad place.
Well, maybe it's not all that bad.
Hi there. How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
The railway station that's featured quite a bit on the show, that's over here on the left side of the tram. And then on the right side of the tram, this is a courtyard from all those classic horror movies, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man. There would always be a scene in those movies where a big mob of angry villagers would gather, and they had torches and bloodhounds. They would march through the village. They're hunting down Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney, Claude Rains. This is also our backlot, Little Europe.
Listen now, Lamanza, he's in the woods. Get out of the back house. Raise all the men you can, lock the women indoors, and wait for me. Are you ready? Take your torches and go!
You don't sort of think of monsters.
Dracula, Frankenstein, variety of Frankenstein.
The Mummy.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera. Classic films are just brilliantly made. That Frankenstein image, flathead, balls, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the universal horror film. I was just mesmerized by this movie. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie really scaring me.
They still ring in our memories now, and we love them.
At this point, we are a little bit past the halfway mark of the tour. And again, I do want to remind everybody to please remain seated throughout the tram ride. Keep in mind, if at any time during the trip you're taking a picture and you drop your phone off the side, if you can't wait to the end of the tour to use the restroom, it's okay. Don't jump off the tram, pull that red cord, we'll stop. I'll come back, I'll see what you need help with. We want you to stay safe on the tram. We had to close off a little section of our backlot today for safety reasons. There's a billboard on the left, Amity Island welcomes you. The Amity Police Department wanted us to close the beach because we had some shark attacks. We caught a shark. It's in front of the hotel, and even though we caught it, they still don't want us to reopen the beach because there's another shark. And it's a bigger shark right in the middle of the water. We haven't captured it yet. It's coming this way. It's going underwater. I think it found some food. Oh, I got something over there. It's a screaming fish. This dock that we're on right now is very slippery. So everybody please remain seated as we pull forward and stop behind these barrels filled with gasoline. Oh, look at that. The shark took the dock. The shark's still underwater. I don't see it. Oh, I see it. That's why my seat has a window. That's not it. We were just attacked by a great white killer shark, of course inspired by the movie Jaws, which next year celebrates its 50th anniversary, coming out in the summer of 1975. This shark has been thrilling guests on the studio tour since 1976. That's not the shark from the movie. Our shark works better than Steven Spielberg sharks. When they were making the movie, they built several full-size mechanical sharks. None of them would work. All of them kept breaking. Now we're heading into a classic special effect on our backlot, and to tell you about it, this is the Today's Show co-host and weather anchor, Al Roker.
Time for my favorite part of the tour. Well, when it comes to film and TV, it's truly a special effect. In fact, to demonstrate how weather effects are created, we debuted our first major attraction here on the studio tour way back in 1968. Welcome to the only part of the backlot with a 100% chance of rain. The flash flood.
Well, Al Roker just said there's a 100% chance of rain here. He may have lied. We're having some technical problems with the effect. It's not working right now, but it's easy for us to create weather effects for movies and television shows. For example, in this area, we have sprinklers hidden in the trees on both sides of the tram. So we can make it rain on cue. We turn on the sprinklers, the water shoots up in the air, falls down in a natural pattern. The set is built on a hill. Sometimes when we have a lot of rain in this area, we have been known to have flash floods that come down and run towards the tram. We don't want a flood to hit our tram, so we're going to continue on. I'm going to show you what this special effect, the flash flood, looked like in a scene from a family comedy, Big Fat Liar, with Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, and Paul Giamatti.
You can't run a walk, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that. Hang on, buddy,
This little Mexican village that we're driving through had been used in Three Amigos with Steve Martin, Martin Short, Chevy Chase. Nacho Libre with Jack Black, also filmed out here. Jack Black is currently the voice of Poe, the panda in Kung Fu Panda 4, a DreamWorks film released through Universal. And then when we leave Old Mexico, we cross the border into the Old West, where we had made movies with John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, Kirk Douglas, and Clint Eastwood.
Stir things up here. That I am.
Jerry, you hit that man.
Mine hit the ground first. Mine was taller.
These are some of the first sets that were built at the studio. These were constructed for the silent movies back in 1915. These sets are still used for productions. There's a movie that's going to be coming out in July that filmed out here called Maxine, which is the third part of a trilogy. It follows the movies and Pearl. All three of these movies are written and directed by Ty West for A24 Productions. So there's another film company that rented out a couple sections of our backlot for their film. Another movie that's going to be released in July, Despicable Me 4. We've got The Fall Guy, which is going to be coming out next week with Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. We had a chance to get a pre-screening of that. That's a lot of fun. That's a good action comedy. And Wicked is going to be released in November. We're going to be passing by the Jaws attraction again. We're not going to be going through the attraction again. We're going to be taking another path. Steven Spielberg was instrumental in getting our Jaws attraction on the studio tour back in 1976.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
We have a whole suburban neighborhood on our backlot called Colonial Street, which we can use for movies and television shows, a lot of commercials and music videos filmed out here as well. The second house on the right side of the tram, this blue house, is where Ted, the talking bear, lives, with his best friend John Bennett, played by Max Burkholder on the TV series. I'm going to show you a scene from Ted involving that house, and then after I play the scene, I'm going to tell you something about the scene.
Let the festivities begin.
How many we got? Well, let's see. We got 20 cartons.
Fantastic.
Do you think we're getting too old for this?
Oh, come on, Johnny, we're doing a public service here. If a kid leaves the house in a less than stellar Halloween costume, he's got to get the bad news before he makes a fool of himself all over town. We're Samaritans.
The thing about that scene is it didn't really film inside that house. These houses are facades. They only used the house for the establishing shot, the exterior shot, and then they filmed the rest of the scene inside the stages, but you assumed it took place inside that house. This neighborhood was used for the Netflix comedy series Never Have I Ever. The main character on the show, Davey, lives in the yellow house on the right, which was also Susan's house on Desperate Housewives. This is Wisteria Lane from the show.
If there is one thing everyone in suburbia can appreciate, it's a good neighborhood.
That ABC Touchstone series filmed out here in this part of our backlot for 8 seasons.
What the hell? Let's get that.
If you're a fan of the Back to the Future films, you might recognize the statues over on the left side of the tram. The Lion Estate statues were placed on the corners of the street that led to the McFly home where Barney and his family lived. Those signs are replicas of the original Lion Estate signs. Those were constructed for the 30th anniversary of the first film. The street that we're driving up right now, this is Steven Spielberg Drive. Steven Spielberg is one of the executive producers of Back to the Future. We've got a long relationship with Steven Spielberg, the Academy Award-winning director. You might even say it goes all the way back to the beginning of the studio tour.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. It was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
It is appropriate at the end of Steven Spielberg Drive. We're going right through the middle of one of his sets. This airplane crash set was built for Paramount's War of the Worlds, directed by Spielberg with Tom Cruise. Although the houses on the left side of the tram are facades, the airplane is not. That was a real plane. When they were making the movie, they got a full 747 and they did that to it. So that was somebody's job on the set of War of the Worlds to rip an airplane apart. And this is a quick scene from War of the Worlds involving this set.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision that Steve had.
You forget to sit down and talk about War of the Worlds. I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep this me. Listen, now listen. I want you to close your eyes, okay? Get them closed. Robbie, get in. Get in.
And this is the road that we're on right now. And then right in front of the crashed airplane set, on your right, it's a set that's been a highlight since the original 1964 studio tour, the home of Norman Bates from Psycho. Anthony Perkins played Norman Bates. Janet Leigh played Marion Crane. The film was directed by Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense. Hitchcock was known for cameos. Almost every time he directed a movie, just for fun, he would put himself in the movie somewhere in a quick scene. And it's a lot like what Stan Lee used to do in all the Marvel superhero movies. But Hitchcock did it first. After we passed by the Psycho house, also coming up on the right side of the tram, we have our official scale model replica of the Hollywood sign. While we're celebrating our 60th anniversary, the Hollywood sign is celebrating its 100th anniversary. For the first few decades of the studio tour, one of our hallmarks was a visit to Prop Plaza, where guests disembarked for once-in-a-lifetime photo and interacted with characters, vehicles, and props from their favorite productions. And just for our 60th anniversary, we brought that opportunity back. And please remember, this is a limited stop. So make sure you've gathered all of your personal belongings with you. When you're ready to reboard the tram, continue, just simply follow the signs around. You'll be boarding a different tram with a brand new studio guide, so gather up all of your items and your 3D glasses. You're going to need them when you continue the tour. As you disembark, please walk towards the front of the tram and have fun. It is required. There's our music again. Get some good pictures.
그게 원래 포인트여서 엄마가 그쪽에 앉았어.
아빠도 그거 고정 같아. 그게 되진 않아서
You like a picture of the Hollywood sign right here. Bates' house and Bates' car right this way. If not, you guys can keep moving forward. I guys do not stop moving forward.
Furious cars? Yeah, Dominic Toretto's muscle car. You didn't get a picture of the shark? King Kong? You get a picture of King Kong? You did, okay. Did you get any pictures of Eric? No, okay. You're just as famous as that shark. More famous than Dominic Toretto's car. picture of Nick. This guy here, Nick. Get a picture of him. You gonna get a picture of Eric? All right. That's Nick getting a picture of Eric. Nick knows fame when he sees it. Hey, here's that music again that's going to be embedded in your brain for the rest of the day. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, I told you that you were going to be boarding a different tram with a different guide. It's not. It's me. Hi again. Come on in. Make sure that you fill in the seats to the right. That way, if everybody who's over here gets back on board, they can get on without stepping on you or climbing on you. Hopefully you're able to get some good pictures as you're walking around this drop-off section. You guys still have your 3D glasses? Did you bring your 3D glasses when you got off the tram? You got them back on? If you don't have your 3D glasses, if you dropped them somewhere, raise your hand. We can get you another one before we go. Okay, good. We are going to be bringing the gates down in a moment. Just watch your sides. We've got about 10 minutes left of the tour. Again, I am going to go over the safety rules with you. Remain seated throughout the tour. If you have any medical emergency, you need assistance, you drop something off the side of the tram, reach up, pull down on the red emergency cord, remain seated. I'll come back, I'll see what you need assistance with. No smoking of any kind on the tour. There's going to be some tram movements, there's going to be loud noises, there's going to be water effects. Keep an eye on your items so don't get wet. And please don't use selfie sticks while on the tram.
I didn't know that. I just picked, I was like, this is what it
Sing along, you know the words by now. You guys are lucky, you only have to hear that one time today. Me, not so lucky. Welcome back.
I mean, I got some pictures.
Look, you got your original seats too. Hey, for the last 10 minutes of the tour, I know when you were getting back on, a lot of people got different seats than they had the first time. Does anybody want this seat? Anyone want to do the rest of the tour for me? I was going to go back to the break room. You want to do it? All right. If I did that, Nick, who just took a picture of Eric, would get me in trouble. He's one of our supervisors, so I'll wait till we're out of Nick's view, and then I'll switch seats with you guys. You thought that song was done? Nope. See, Mark, you're getting into it. You know the song by now. Okay, everybody, in just a moment, we're going to be bringing the gates down on the left. Keep your hands free, keep your feet free from the gates as we lock them into place. Again, I am Paul. I'm going to be your guide for the final act of our 60th anniversary tour. Eric is still sitting next to me. He's going to drive us around the remainder of the line. Okay, we should be bringing that final gate down. There it is. Okay, there's clearance. Bye, everybody. Get your last picture of a giant shark. Over the years, there's been a lot of celebrities who have taken our studio tour. Steven Spielberg, took the tour when he was a kid. Meryl Streep has taken the tour. Paul Rudd comes here a lot. Who's currently one of the stars of the new Ghostbusters film, Frozen Empire. Jordan Peele, a guy who's made quite a few films for Universal. He took the tour when he was a kid, and he's going to tell you about that.
I remember going to Universal Studios when I was 12 years old, feeling this feeling of wonder. One of my first trips at Universal Studios, seeing the Jaws ride. One of my favorite movies of all time. Just feeling like, that's him. That's the Jaws. Like, I don't even know if that is the Jaws. I hope it is. Sharing a space with Hitchcock and Spielberg, I couldn't be more proud.
Let's go, baby! Let's go!
And we are about to drive through one of the sets of Jordan Peele's film, Jupiter's Claim, from Nope.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Share. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? But a little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, old frontier town, lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. What's a bad miracle? Welcome to the world of no. We're just going to stop here for a moment, allowing you time to get some pictures of the set. As we leave the set of Jupiter's Claim, we're going to be driving through a section of our backlot where we once had an attraction called the Doomed Glacier Expedition, better known as the Ice Tunnel, which was featured in an episode of The $6 Million Man with Lee Majors. The episode had Andre the Giant as Bigfoot. Back then, the tram would climb to an imaginary elevation of 12,000 feet, and the only way to get back into the theme park was through the ice tunnel, where the slightest noise could create an avalanche, and always did. And it caused the walls to spin and everybody on board to kind of tilt along with the Hollywood special effect. Whenever we would drive through the ice tunnel, we would drive through very slowly to make sure we didn't create an avalanche. Today we're going to be driving through this area very quickly because now it's the home of our Fast and Furious attraction. So everybody please remain seated while we're inside the building. This is one of the characters from the Fast and Furious franchise, Roman Pierce.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stand you, Sean, for a while. Brought you in our secret spot.
All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone can give us away.
want us to move farther into the building. Now there's no need to put on your 3D glasses right now. We're just gonna hide in here until it's safe to go back outside. This actually works out in our favor because they brought us here to hide and there's a party going on in the building. We got dancers.
This is what we doing. This is the race day after party. And where the other?
Roman Pierce, FBI, don't move.
Bill?
That's right, party's over.
You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not.
You're under arrest right now.
Ladies, just back up a little bit. I got you. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who do you work for?
We don't work for nobody. I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety.
Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun.
Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss.
Got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back.
Man.
It was on vibrate.
Shaw traced us. Cops can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're up. Driver, move that vehicle.
It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
Hey, it looks like we're gonna go catch up with them. This might be a good time to put your 3D glasses on. You should get ready because according to what Dom just said, Owen Shaw's getting pretty close to finding us in here.
on behalf of everyone at NBC Universal, thank you for joining us to celebrate our diamond anniversary. Here's to another 60 years.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you for celebrating 60 years of the studio tour with us. The studio tour is where it all began for Universal destinations and experiences from 2 Glamor trams driving around the lot in the summer of 1964. We've developed into so much more, including 7 parks, entertaining millions of people each year, up to the upcoming Universal Epic Universe opening in 2025. I'd like to acknowledge all of our studio tour ambassadors, drivers, and studio guides throughout our history who have helped make the studio tour world famous, from our first 4 guides and drivers to the hundreds of team members who support the tour today. To all of our annual pass members, thank you for coming back and joining us again today. If you're not an annual pass holder and you'd like to be one, stop by the Universal box office, find out how you can upgrade today's ticket into an annual pass, which allows you to come back and join us again and again. Make sure that you've downloaded the Universal Studios Hollywood app. That will keep you up to date with all the things going on in the park, the wait times for the rides, the show times for Waterworld. You can also use the app for mobile food ordering and much more. To purchase any of the NBC Universal movies or TV shows I've talked about on the tour, you can visit uphe.com or ask at any of our retail stores. Take a look around. Make sure that you have all of your belongings with you. We don't want you to leave anything important behind. Gather up all of your stuff. We do recycle the 3D glasses that we handed out for the tour. When we get into the unloading area, we'll open up the gates on the left side. There's going to be bins right next to the tram for the 3D glasses, so just drop the I had mentioned when we were leaving the picture drop-off area, some of the people that had taken the tour, Meryl Streep, Paul Rudd, these are some celebrities talking about taking the studio tour.
I've been on that tour so many times since I was a kid, and I just love it every time.
The first time I ever went on the Universal lot, we did the tour.
I grew up in Los Angeles, and that was like the place to go and see Jaws.
I got my introduction to Universal Studios through the tour, and so then to be in the movies and seeing the trams drive by, it's very overwhelming.
One of the coolest things actually about shooting for Universal is sometimes you get to shoot on the lot, and then you look over and it's like there's Jaws, or like there's the flash flood, and all those trams are riding around. It's the coolest thing ever.
1979. Back then, tram drivers were kind of a little reckless, a little crazy. There was no restriction on cars going anyway. We used to drive all over and kind of duel with them back and forth.
I have so many amazing memories of the lot when we were shooting Back to the Future.
Being here brings me back in time, I'll tell you that.
The tram would come through, the tourists would see Michael J. Fox, and they're taking their camera, snap, snap, snap. So one day, Michael J. Fox had his own camera, and every time the tourists came through snapping their pictures, he ran out and he started taking pictures of them.
So hopefully you were able to get some good pictures as we were taking you around today. One of the shows that was filming on the lot today, right before we went into the area where they filmed Back to the Future, a new comedy series called St. Dennis Medical, and it's with David Alan Grier, Wendy McClendon Covey, and Allison Tolman, and they're going to tell you a little bit about their new show.
Hi, I'm David Alan Grier.
And I'm Wendy McClendon Covey.
And I'm Allison Tolman.
We're on the set of our new hit sitcom, St. Dennis Medical.
You know, they say laughter is the best medicine.
You know, I'd say Minnesota's a close second.
Naproxen sodium isn't too bad either.
Sorry about that.
But since we don't have any clips of actual medicine to show you,
That would make for a pretty boring tour.
let's laugh at some of the funniest moments from Universal comedy history.
Laughing already.
Playback?
Tipitos. The new phone book's here! The new phone book's here!
I went to answer the phone. I was gone a second. I came back in. He let himself out of the playpen. He put on Scarface, and he glued his hands to the rum bottle. Okay?
Time to rock and roll. Bring the noise.
What do you want to hear?
Alright guys, now listen to some blues riff from me. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. She don't get the double bang. She don't run and she don't think You know you make me wanna.
Hey everybody, I'm sorry about the delay. We're going to be pulling forward in just a moment as soon as the road is clear.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Did you see what I did there?
It's a story. Well, there's this pirate. Truth happened into the word.
The problem most men have is they just plain straight up have no clue how to talk to women.
What's happening? Hot stuff. Kind of cute yourself.
Thank you.
They're called boobs, eh?
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
In this one time at band camp.
Houston, we have a problem.
We're on a mission from God.
No! Gary Clarkson!
What is this? Hey, bud. Let's party.
Probably stupid. There's no way to go for Lex. He hates these cams!
Okay, we're pulling into the unloading area. Gather up all of your belongings. Drop your 3D glasses in one of the bins on the left. Have a good time.
Baby long gas. What do they got there? Fun?
You're going to need a bigger boat.
Just think back to 1956.
I'll be glad. But John, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't need the torches.
Well, it's nice to find a fellow with a keen sense of humor.
Are you finished, Mr. Slade?
No, I'm just getting warmed up. Say hello to my dear friend!
Every time you bend down for the night, you'll look back into the darkness and wonder if I'm there. Some night I will be.
Each and every man under my command owes me 100. That's in the sky. I won my status.